Greetings and salutations, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Tomes and Tales RPG. Last episode.
Anybody hear that?
Last episode, the Broken Few began the second half of their trek along the eastern coast of Unerashroud through an extended skill challenge with utilising the tools at hand and the abilities. Our party accumulated their 4 successes, and thus the rest of the trip was easy peasy lemon squeezy. Along that trip, as they left Woodsgate and crossed into the precipice of the Pottswood, they were accosted by a band of ne'er-do-wells, and who attempted to be proper roadmen and rob our party, instead left with one member losing his whole leg, and them
skill issue,
and them having to give up their money.
GG.
Good game.
Uno reverse.
Yeah.
Intercrossing into the Pottswood proper, the party began to notice this black, viscous, tar-like liquid that seemed to be intermittently being left behind in the woods. And upon passing through the Druid's Gate, which itself holds no real magical, what was the term? No magical, fortifications and the like. It is relevant because there was a druid that did live in the woods adjacent to Potts Hollow. But alas, she generally kept to herself. But it seems that she too has faced the wrath of this corruption that seems to be passing over the nation. And became a horrible, her name being the Grave Witch, a tar summoning witch using dark necrotic magic, which is very opposite to what druids normally do. Hugle then is reunited with someone from his past that it seems on the outset he tried very hard to either not discuss or forget, and broke down appropriately in front of Petunia. But we will go into that on tonight's episode of Tomes and Tales. Ooh!
Welcome to Tomes and Tales RPG.
Hell yeah. I like that that's just become the thing.
Yeah, I don't know how that started, but
I think I did it as a joke.
Yeah.
Alright.
it's a real nice way to blend into the opening sequence.
It is good. I like it. We'll get a shirt where it just says ooh. And it's like capital and lowercase O's.
You have no idea how many times I've had to retract from going ooh on Twitter or
Yeah.
I've done it. I've created a thing. And welcome back.
Are you sure we don't want to take a minute and just...
Nah, full send. You're in the roller coaster now, buddy.
Yeah.
Strap in.
Hugle, bust. Let's go.
Regina Georged.
We cut back, so the same day, it's the 6th day of our journey, which I actually have the date for that one. But 6th day from the 4th, go figure. And we follow our party, the carriage, Rat and Pigeon, who were extremely fucked up in that fight, but are still trudging on. These horses are worth every penny paid. They've stayed alive through, absolutely, they should not be alive, but yet here they are, because Zero has a very sound investment that she wants to protect.
My money.
SpongeBob, you boy! Money. You are all moving through the heavy woodlands, and Hugle and Petunia, you both know that you're getting ever closer to the entrance of Potts Hollow proper. But I want to turn it over to the party as we move through, moving away from the Druid's Gate and these tar pits that did start to bubble down and stop losing their inherent power from the Grave Witch. You start hearing the faint sounds of wildlife passing back over as they realise that the apex predator has been destroyed, and thus they can go back to their little homes and all their little burrows and all that sort of stuff. What's happening right now as our party moves through, at this point I feel like in silence, for a couple of minutes?
Who's situated where in the car?
Yeah.
I'd like to make a point of putting myself up with the horses because I'm still trying to fully win Zero's heart for the sake of Val. So I'm trying to keep the fucking horses alive.
It's working. It's working.
I would guess that
I'd
we
be
would
walk-
be
I'd
up
be
the
walking up
front,
the front.
walking, leading the way.
So you're steering the horses. You guys are about 30 feet ahead, so you can
And
have
I'm
private.
5 feet behind, trailing behind Petunia,
I don't know about
sort
you,
of half.
but
just-
I feel like we'd be like sandwiched, all three of us on the front, just like.
Not a peep is coming from me.
No, Zero will probably be in the back of the cart trying to peel off that fucking melted munted armor on her because she's still got a fucking nasty burn on her chest.
Yeah, a bit of your leather armor is like when leather gets lit up and it starts to harden and become like a weird callous shell. So now the really nice ribbed pattern is just fucking munted, like a huge spiraling burn mark across the front of your chest.
Yeah, so she'll be trying to like fucking basically peel that off of her in the back of the carriage. So she'll be trying to, as quietly as possible, try to fix herself up.
You can peel most of the hardened ichor off, but the leather is definitely going to need to be reworked to be fixed properly. Like
I don't care
to
about
get
the
it.
leather needing
You just
rework.
want the goo off?
I care about the fact that it might be fucking like partially melted to her fucking skin.
Thankfully, no.
Okay.
You're able to, like, the burn definitely happened just due to, like, the sheer force of it, but you're not doing surgery where you're sitting there with a dagger and shaving it off your chest.
Okay.
So, but it fucking hurts, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you had a moment alone, you, like, open up your tunic, like,
Yeah.
and take your plate off, and it's just a fucking red, like, almost like a spider hit you at Mark 5.
Oh yeah, she's probably just gonna like lay down in privacy in the back of the carriage, just like fanning her chest, trying to like alleviate the fucking sting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's burning.
Yeah.
Technically, I believe the one with the 2 D4s is mine.
It is. And those ones are mine. Do you want to hold
Oh, whoops. Yep.
Thank you.
We'll trade those over.
It's all
However,
on my D&D Beyond anyway, so...
However, the window. Because I imagine there's a tiny window between the
Yeah.
carriage and the...
Yeah, it's like the...
It just kind of opens enough. And the healing pot kind of falls through and lands on top of you.
Ah!
Yeah, it's like it's quiet for a bit, and then you hear like a thank you.
Like, it's just beyond the veil, it's just pure black. It's like...
Like, Voyage didn't even look back. He's all like, nah, I gotta be good.
Thank you.
You don't want to open it and pour it in?
Roll.
Oh, I thought you just shook it in the.
No, you open it and pour it out.
Okay.
There you go.
Hey, 2 4s!
That's nice.
Thanks,
huh?
guys. Thanks.
Okay,
This
so
is
that's
great.
full. That's not bad at all.
Yeah.
That's max healing on a health potion. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell
Throw them
yeah.
back in there and they can go back over to Cody. So.
Yeah.
Thank you kindly.
Actually, I'm going to put them all in glass bottles. Oh, that'd be nice. With some red resin in there.
Oh, we should do that.
Yeah.
And then pour
dude.
them out.
That'd be hard and they won't come out. But you feel immediately the potion courses through your body and that burning pain slowly begins to alleviate.
Yeah, nice.
Some of the sinews begin to like heal over a little bit. It'll take a bit more time and a
Yeah.
little bit more healing, but that immediate fucking burning is thankfully gone.
Thank God.
What else?
How far out of town are we?
Maybe about 10 minutes.
I'm not saying a word. He wants to, and probably every now and again he has it. It's tense up here.
Who's making all that tensity out the front?
There's electricity in the air!
The horses can't move forward anymore, guys. You need to break the tension.
You
Yeah,
just see
the air is
invisible
thick
wall.
up ahead.
Yeah, the horses don't want to borrow that.
Yeah, I reckon, yeah, like every minute or so, Hugle has that like he's gonna say something, but then questions whether he should or what he should say, doesn't know, and just sort of goes back down to, you know, the kicking dirt as he kind of goes along. Like, fuck.
At this point, she's a straight stony face and like plotting the best route to get through town, avoiding certain eyes as quickly as possible.
Okay. Let's pop into your yard for a second. And what's going through Petunia's mind?
A lot.
I want to talk to my lawyer.
Yeah. I don't think she was quite ready to see him again. Definitely wasn't. And she's like, it's one of those things you've been sitting with it for so long. You're like, yeah, I want to do this, I'm going to do that, and and then it happens. And you're like, oh fuck, I don't know what to do.
Feel that.
And there's all these people here that she's never seen before, has never met. She's barely ever met anyone from outside the village. So she's like, I don't know who these people are. I don't know how to interact. But it's just that, and there's a discrepancy here because she knows that they have a close or at least a relationship with him. So there's a dynamic there. And then it's just, with the way, it's like, did this have to happen now, right now, with everything that's happening? And so she's just in her head, just trying to put it in a box, failing, but trying to put it in a box. And just like, think ahead. What route are we going to take? What streets can we take to get the most direct path that we need for now, at least, to keep him on track?
Okay. So by this point, you'd be hitting probably afternoon-ish, I think, with the traveling through the day, the interaction with the Grave Witch, and then coming to now, we'll probably hit like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So things do start to tail off a little bit. So I'd say there will be some rolls involved, definitely, but I think we can make that work. But eventually, we turn a small corner in the forest, and the first thing that you see, which is not uncommon for you right now, but for you, Hugle, it's new, is you've heard of them, I don't think you would have heard of them, it's a ranger's tower. Like a tower where bowmen and archers will stand tall. And you see up in the tower, specifically, is Colton, the Fearbog warrior, and he's standing with a really large orc. Like a wildling orc. You know about them. There's like a kind of semi-nomadic tribe that exists along
But not
the
normally
fringes.
within our village.
Not in your village, no. And you see, and there doesn't seem to be any animosity there. They're just standing, looking over. You see Colton gives a wave, and so does I think it's Branko. Branko waves down as well. And you guys enter in, and Colton kind of gives you a look, like, do you need me to come down? Like, what's up? Just wave him off. Okay. And you guys...
Does he see me? Would I notice? Any notice recognition or anything?
Make an insight check.
I got out over here for the map. It's gonna be like a 12, I think.
I'm going to quickly check Colton's stats.
14.
Okay. Now, I don't want to do that. Literally midway through recording a game, it's like, hey man, you should buy the 2 core rulebooks that are coming out. I'll think about it. It's saying John update. You see something on his face, but you're not quite sure what it is.
So, I think Hugo would give like a small wave of acknowledgement that, as you would to probably anyone if you were coming into a new town, and just keep silently following.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay, yeah, definitely. Yeah, you see something on his face, but you're not quite sure what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You move past the tower. I'm just going to pull my little map up. And when you break through the main entrance of the town, you see the paddock. That's right there on the immediate left-hand side, which eventually makes way, and you all see Potts Hollow. A quaint little village tucked away in the Pottswood, hidden from sight and the sense of most people outside of this little community. It's, you see you look out and you're like, what the fuck, there's no houses, like what's going on here? And then you realize that all these little bumps and ridges that you're seeing around the village are the homes. There's big circular doors. Some of them are double rectangles. Some of them are oval. Kind of, yeah, very in vain of that. All different shapes and sizes. You start realizing that you can see little stone chimneys popping out of the ground and like some of the smoke's coming out.
I'm taking the hobbits to Isengard!
God.
They're taking they're taking, I literally just went to say it 'cause it was in my brain. You can see like, because in here, the forest life in here is so different to what was out there, but it carries the same energy. In here, you feel safe. It's like a mother's embrace. You feel warm here. You can breathe better. The air is cleaner. There's into the evening, you can hear the buzzing and the chirping of small insects and stuff. You see a couple of like little fireflies that are yet to ignite themselves, but they will at some point when the sun does set through the clouds. A couple of trees are spread sporadically through, but a few folk going to and fro, and you see more halflings. A lot of halflings. There, intermittently, you see some moving with carts or like bits of timber. You can hear the whirring and soaring down the strip of a very large building, which is the only one above ground, which would be for you guys, would be to your left, which I think immediately everyone's kind of savvy enough, Zeph especially. It's a huge mill. It's a big woodworking mill, like 2.5 stories tall, big timber frame. You can hear the saws going off. Next to this huge ramshackle like shanty town, like tents and canvases and all that sort of stuff that don't fit the vibe of the rest of Potts Hollow. But they're through those tents you can see more of these orcs and Goliaths, like in like their natural like leathers and armors and all that sort of stuff. But as you guys are moving through the central street, you can see halflings. You also see some Harengon, or like the rabbit folk as well. Some of them are your height, like humanoid height. Some of them are down to like halfling height, like 3 feet. Some are about 6 foot. Like there's a multitude here. 1 or 2 humans spread intermittently that seem to have commingled and joined the community. But there's some weird sort of sense of safety here, but also this weird kind of tension that's in the air. But at this point, I have introduced where we are, and I'm going to turn it over to you because you're guiding the party.
Yeah, taking the small streets and just, oh, not smaller because we've got the cart and everything. Actually, is there any good place to leave the cart? Or just
Not
take it to
really.
Taking it to the house. And yeah, just walking in front. At this point, probably drop back close to the cart to help direct everyone. And it's just leading them the most direct path to his house.
To his family's house specifically?
Yes.
Well, thankfully, that actually cuts you, so you've got to pass Siobhan's apothecary and go straight up the centre of town, and then hook a little bit of a left, and then you're at the Bloom house.
Yeah.
So we can do that. So you guys are moving through, and you see, like, people are like looking at you, and they're like, oh, giving you a polite wave and stuff, and they're quite taken aback a little bit, but there are some curious glances. But I'll turn it over to the rest of our party. Like, are you guys doing anything? Are you intrigued? Tell me what's going on. What's going on? What's on your minds right now?
Well, I'm inside the cart. I see none of this.
In your heart, you're like, I sense more cute people.
Wow!
Wow!
Probably any that would wave. Voyage would wave back, and he's just trying to help diffuse the awkwardness going on in the front by being all like, yeah, we're just travelers. Don't look at the tiny people at the front.
I'll also throw out for you guys, you would have never seen a more floral place in all your life.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, there's so many.
It just feels like Hugle here.
Yes.
It's comforting. Which is completely opposite to what's going on out there.
There's a juxtaposition in there.
The dichotomy of man.
You've got that nice wood smoke coming through, filtering through the air of all the houses lighting, and it's like, oh, this is really nice and comfortable. What the fuck is happening over there?
Yeah.
What about Zeph?
I feel like Zeph would just have this, like, you know, that awkward, like, smile that you give people that, like, you know, smile and wave to you, but there's no waving. It's just like, Zeph is kind of like, I've never seen anything like this in my fucking life. I'm used to everything being dead. and I'm used to the air being so thick that I will most likely die at the age of 30 from just the toxic.
Smoke is long.
Yeah, and so it's just like, Zeph is like, why the fuck would you want to leave this place, Hugle? You know, like that sort of like, they won't say it verbally to you because they can see that there's enough shit going on at the moment. But it's just kind of like that looking at you like, you had this and you left it.
Yep.
There we go. I was playing out of my phone the whole time and not the speakers. That's silly of me. There we go.
Hugo is just following, head down, sort of looking around town. Probably there's like a shock to the Orc and Goliath style camp that's there. A bit of this, like what's going on, and kind of, if you're inside Hugo's head right now, like he wants to ask Petunia like what's going on, but he's still too scared to say anything.
Okay. You continue, and you know what? We're gonna roll a luck check. Something specific. I just want to see. I'm gonna say you want high. You want 11 and up. Actually, you want 10 and up. I'll give you an extra one.
19 will be nice. It's the halfling luck.
The halfling luck. You move unperturbed, and no unseemly things and unseemly people. And eventually, you arrive at the front garden of the Bloom residence, your home that you haven't been back to in 4 years? Yeah.
Hugo's lost count, but yeah.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Junior hasn't.
I'm counting down the seconds.
For the first time since they've entered the village, a smile comes over his face of recognition and a little bit of comfort, despite how uncomfortable he is right now. And he will step forward, so from walking behind you to next to you, and just look up.
Go Skye.
I'm sorry. I'll never be able to make up for what I've done, and I don't expect to. But nothing would make me happier than to be able to talk to you while I'm home.
We'll talk about this later. Go see your family.
Yes, ma'am.
They need it.
And takes a second. We'll grasp at what you guys know to be the painting that he keeps in there, and then push through the gate into his parents.
Yeah. You're met with a brightly coloured garden that's all blues and fucking blues and purples and whites, a lot of those colours, and bright greens and yellows. It's a very lavish, very bright garden. The clicking and the chittering of insects and stuff when you move up. Do you want to describe what the home looks like a little bit for everybody?
So as Hugo walks in, imagine the gladiator scene. He's running his hands through the plants because
Hell yeah.
He's back where he grew up. A front garden with just huge growths of lavender and all these things that are really flowering and bright coloured plants. This is Hugle's, what you think of when you see Hugle in a house. And as you approach the front, there is, like I was saying, it's a wooden, bricks and stone with wooden edging built into the side of a hill with just a big round blue door.
Right.
And no one in the front, nothing.
Not immediately, no.
And Hugo will walk up and
Rap on the door. There is where's everyone else in this moment?
Just following suit. Just like, but keeping a distance to kind of like let Hugle have his moment and then give us the okay to be introduced and come in sort of thing.
Okay.
Petunia's also hanging back a bit.
Zero as well?
Oh yeah, if the cart stops, she'll come out.
Yeah.
The leather chest piece will be still in the cart.
Just
It's
your
a
blouse
bit
by this point.
Do you still look pretty bad?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, Chief. Hell yeah.
Just walk over and take your hand. It's like, I hope you feel better. And just cast like a second level cure wounds or something.
Oh.
1 second.
Bless you.
Ooh. Okay. 15 points of healing.
Holy shit!
I
Thank
got
you.
a 7 and a 4.
When you take her hand and like you heal it, that brings her up to full. Actually, thank you very much. She kind of like when you go to pull away, she like there's a bit of a drag on her hole, and she kind of like is like looking in your eyes, like she's trying to figure something out, and then she finds what she's looking for, and she lets you go. Thank you.
Of course.
Ooh.
ominous.
Yeah, give me a moment, sorry. I'm just writing some names down immediately in my book because I have to keep swapping documents.
I just did the same.
I've got my war document open on my phone.
Yeah, so I've written too many different law things for Hugo, and I forgot them all.
It happens. Lots of names.
Yeah, I had to give him a big family just to make it.
The door, click, and the door opens outwards. The door handles are in the middle of the circle. Where's it going? And the door swings open. And you're met with the big eyes, the long curly hair, freckled face of your mum, Perry. And she has like a tray of like gardening things that she was carrying back outside. And immediately, because you're both quite tall for halflings, she's a bit shorter than you. Immediately there's a look, like a ghost-like complexion on her face. She drops all of her stuff. It clatters everywhere. It makes a huge fucking racket. Some of the birds are like, and fly away because they get fucking spooked. And she leaps at you and chokes you. She goes, oh, you're like, hi, Mom. You're like, she's like choking the fuck out of you, like hugging you.
Just squeeze her.
Oh man, she starts like weeping. She's weeping. Like, it's like not sobbing, but she's crying hard enough that you all can notice it. And she's just weeping in the door and she goes, your dad told me you were coming back, but a little bit of me didn't believe it.
I was always gonna come back.
Oh, sweet boy. And she like starts like rubbing your face and giving you kisses and stuff, like almost like if she lets go, you're gonna float away like a balloon. And then you hear from there, it was like, boy, my geez, what's with all the racket down there? And then your dad comes stepping through and he goes, and he's like balding on the top, a bit more rotund in the belly, but calloused hands, you know, like he too is a cleric, but he's also a man of the land and works. And he goes, son, and he goes to like try to shake your hand and be polite, and then he just grabs you and pulls you in for a hug.
Yeah. Same thing, just squeezes, hugs. I've missed you, Dad.
Oh, we missed you, boy. How you going? How you feeling? Are you okay? You're not missing nothing, are you? Yeah.
No, I'm still here.
Oh, thank God.
It's more than just me now. And sort of insinuates outside.
You see two little halfling heads stick out the door and just see this, ramshackle fucking team of people, and then Petunia there as well. And
I
it's like,
waved to them.
you're like,
Yeah.
I ran into her on the way into town.
oh.
And just the single tear, the demeanor drops again from that.
Bruce
Happy.
cheek.
Yeah, Bruce.
Well,
Yeah, the
black
demeanor
eye.
changes from that happy to see them, like sort of smiling again, to just the frown drops, and they would instantly recognize his shame.
Some of your siblings are inside if you want to come say hello. Petal's not here yet, but the rest of them are in.
Do you mind if my friends come in?
Oh, of course not. That's fine. Tell them that there's a hitching post around the side that we keep just in case. You can tie your horses up there and bring them in.
Leans out. Tie the horses up around side and come on in, guys.
Wait, do we have to duck to get in?
A little bit.
Nice.
I'd say this stuff's built sort of half to halfling because there are a lot of people in town that are full size. It's still big enough that it can accommodate.
The door is small, but the burrow is large.
You can duck if you like, though.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna duck. Yeah, thank you.
Do it, Gandalf. But yeah, you're able to go around the side, and they're like singular hitching posts, so you've got to tie both reins together, and the horses kind of like just munch a little bit on the garden that's sticking out of the fence there, and you guys duck through the round door at the entrance and enter in. Do you want to describe what the Bloom house looks like?
Cottage core paradise.
Blessed.
So
I
it's
can imagine it.
super classic. They don't have the same.
Mine's just like
There's no real religious push. Like Hugle's always got the skulls and stuff. Like he's got that, but this is the other side of Hugle. So flowers, like flower garlands hanging everywhere. There's just herbs drying in the corners. Flowers in pots everywhere, all very handcrafted. You'd have that familiarity, but not like clean cut handcrafted, a lot more like natural shapes into the wood, like things that have been sort of scavenged and put together to work in that way because they fit. They're like, oh, this could turn into a chair, so they've done it rather than crafting it to that. So it's a lot of that natural shapes that have been blended together into it. On the walls you would see paintings, some of which probably remind you of the style of Hugle's paintings, and then some others as well, but of just all members of the family. There's the awkward family photos, sort of, they're all stood for portraits. There's pictures of Hugle as a little baby and things, like, it's that classic absolute family love spills out of this house. Like, it's a family unit, and there's just that feeling of comfort and love. Overly so, almost
Real
cringy
unit.
level.
Yeah. Nice.
And you would see his mum and dad, and he would introduce everyone. Ma, da. Meet my friends. Voyage. Zefaris. Zero.
Alright.
That's dog. And we've
It's
got
trying to
an.
keep
Have you
him
bought
from
Pat
breaking
inside?
things.
And this is the newest edition.
I feel like Zeph's kind of like holding Pat like an emotional support teddy bear at the moment.
you have to hold him under his arms,
Yeah.
and his midway is hanging because he's like an adolescent owlbear cub.
And anyone that's paying attention, it's like there's some sort of peace that's like come over Zeph, and there's also a sadness as well, because it's like literally exactly the same as their family, exactly how they are as people, and the house as well is slightly too small for Zeph, but they can still fit.
So, Bulb waves.
Well, then, yeah, I'll introduce the
Yeah.
parents. This is my parents. This is Bulb and Perry.
How you doing?
These guys have kept me out of trouble and cut me into some.
And Perry, Hugle's mum. Well, thank you for bringing Swale back to us in one piece, thankfully. And Bulb's like, such a peculiar bunch of animals you got going on there. Perry's like eyeing off the owlbear. She's like big fucking eyes. Like,
You know who's gonna love that one? And we'll shout out, I'm home!
the pitter-pattering of 6 feet come barraging down the fucking hallway as 3 triplet sandy blonde haired little girls come rushing down the hallway. And they crash tackle you clean into the floor, take out your mum and dad's vase at the front. That is your sister's maize, squash, and bean.
When I'm finished hugging them, I do a quick mending on the vase. Sorry about that. I've learned some tricks while I've been gone. I've missed you guys.
And they're like crawling over you, like, where have you been? What have you been doing? What did you see? Is there anything good? And like they'll ask you all these questions, like crawling over your shit. One of them opens your bag of holding, it's just like, whoa! Shuts it. Like just sees the call of the void.
But we'll reach in and pull out a handful of the jewelry that we got from those.
Wow.
Yay!
Presents for everybody.
Yay! And they run off to go play in their room. You know, young children. I think they're by this point they're all like 7. So
7,
like
10,
7,
somewhere
yes.
in that range.
I think as the triplets they'd probably be 7 going on 8.
Yeah.
So they still their attention spans aren't great. Especially when they're such full of beans. From down the hall you hear and your brother Graft comes walking down the hall, who's the mid-son. And he's younger than you because Mulch and Petal are older than you, but Graft is younger than you. So Graft walks in and he looks fucking tired. He works at the mill, but he normally pulls like the late shifts to do like handy woodwork because he's real good with like his woodworking tools. So he's black under his eyes. He's got 5 o'clock shadow cutting through. This guy goes, ha, nice. He comes in, pulls him for a hug. Yeah, for a hug. And grabs you and goes, slaps you on the cheek, kisses you on the forehead, and then goes the fuck back to bed.
It's nice seeing you too.
But Petal and Mulch are nowhere to be seen at this point in time.
It's nice to be home. And hard. But I've missed you all.
Hey, we've missed you too, son.
At this point, I will probably turn to... Have you come inside?
Yeah, hanging back. And I'd say there was like a little smile on her face watching all the family members like interact and just get that overjoyedness. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing me home.
Well, figure somebody had to.
That's fair. Are you still living out by the garden?
Yeah. Couldn't leave it.
I'm glad that someone who cares has been there to maintain.
Speaking of the house by the garden, if you all need a place to stay, you can stay with me. I've got some spare rooms. It's a rather big house for just me.
I'll stay.
Yeah, wonderful.
I'd love to come by in the morning and see the garden.
Come by now. When you're done catching up with your family. They missed you.
She looks back to the family. I missed you all. Take your hand very gently and then let go and have left a Galaxy Petunia plant, like flower, in your hand and sort of cry a bit and walk back over to his mum.
I think she wouldn't look at it until you left. And then when you guys sort of... And then she'd walk out and just go and sit out by the front stoop for a little while.
Talking to his mum and dad there. I hope you've taken care of her or I could.
I think in this instance, I think your dad would probably be the one who pulls you aside for a moment and he goes, son, we did the best we could.
You always do.
But sometimes you can only headbutt a brick wall so much before your head starts to hurt.
She was always tough.
I'm not talking about her. He was none too pleased when you left.
Was he fucking ever?
like he does like a sign because you're cussing in the house, and he kind of like clips you up the ear. He's like, "Oh, your mother's in the house. Come on now."
My gods have different ideas on that than yours, but I'll respect their house rules.
Look, he's tricky to get along with, but we did the best we could. Invitations were always extended to her whenever she wished. She'd come over. She's been helping your ma with a lot of things. She did wonders for your sister when she got hurt. We tried our best. Hey?
Thank you.
We still love her. Just the same.
So do I.
Look, I don't think Mulch is going to be coming back anytime soon, because he's also at the mill. But Petal was out and about, so I don't know if you saw her coming in, but you might run into her. But
I'll keep an eye out.
I think kind of like looks out the front door a little bit, looks at the rest of the party, and be like, being transparent as I can and being a man of the cloth, you all look like bollocks. Maybe sleep this off and try again tomorrow, right?
There's something I need to do before I sleep.
You do what you gotta. But, God's be darned, boy, you need to rest. It points over at Zero. She definitely needs a rest.
Trust me, Dash, she's seen a lot worse.
What's up? Squeeze! I think he's looking at the burn.
Hugo will pull out like 10 gold. Look, I've picked up quite a bit more of this than I'd ever seen before. I hope it helps.
God's in their heaven, boy. I'm not gonna ask.
There's a lot more money out there than we've ever seen. It's a crazy world.
That's why I chose to stay here when I moved here. You know what I mean?
I've missed it.
We've missed having you. Now go on.
Go back in the morning.
Hey. Your mum comes over and gives you a kiss. She goes, tomorrow's gonna be good. We have a lot to talk about. Hey.
Like we do.
I love you.
I love you too.
Gives you a kiss on the cheek. And say goodbye to everyone else. And we'll turn it over. Petunia, you're outside. Eventually, I think if you guys walk outside, the door would open.
Mm-hmm.
What happens now?
Do you guys want a place to put your bags down? Maybe rest up a little bit.
Yes, please, if that's all right.
Of course, I will go grab the horses out and show you where to. Actually, they wouldn't be horses, but
There's not really a stable, no, but every house has the capability to just tie them down there. It's not an issue.
But grab the horse and cart and we'll take you up to my place.
Thank you, Zingo.
Okay. So you guys begin to move back onto the main road. So you're heading back and then you go up the centre. And what you guys would all notice is the borough, Potts Hollow is on a bit of a limb. So the lower end of the town where the shanties are is the slope, and you look up and you guys are ascending up the hill to go towards Petunia's house. And you see that kind of like very Norman Bates mansion on the hill. There's one burrow that just sits a little bit fucking bigger than everyone else's. And it's
kind of shrinks.
Yeah.
So actually, Rain is you might want to sit in the cart for this trip.
Good point.
Alrighty.
It's into the cart.
And sorry, I lied. It was Dario who was in the tower.
Okay,
It wasn't.
cool.
It was Dario. Sorry.
Okay.
As you guys move through the town, you see some of those orcs and Goliaths wandering to and fro, kind of, and like even the orcs are like nearly 7 feet. Like they're big. Like these are old school born in the wild orcs, and they're polite and they're kind, and they give you a nod and stuff, but they just cut an intimidating shape. But then at one point, as you're moving along, you guys see from around one of the burrows a fucking armored brown bear comes walking out, and you just see this orc ranger on the back of it, and he takes knowledge of you guys and jumps down. And he goes, "Good evening, Lady Petunia.
Hello.
This is Branko. Who's the second in command." And he kind of looks up and down, sees the cart, sees everyone moving around. He goes, "You're finding more wayward souls out on the road, no?"
Yeah, there's a lot to find in the forests.
Aye.
Some are coming home. Others are visiting.
Well, you could not have picked a better one to stay with. She's very kind. This place is lovely. Even though we seem that we do tend to scare the little folk, no? And the bear's like kind of nudging him, but "Ay, Basha Stoya." Like slaps the bear on the nose, like, and it's got like one of those big spiky helmets on the top that's like made of like bone. So but it's like a baby, and he goes, "Oh, don't worry about Basha. She won't do anything," and like pushes her over. She's like lies down. "Ay, go Basha." You look like you
I love her.
If you're out looking, he goes, "You can bet it if you like."
Oh, he's off the card. He's throwing the reins into Zeph's lap.
And it's just like this big brown
Biggest belly rubs in the
Yeah.
goddamn planet.
While there's distracting people. Did you find anything out there? Same old.
Same old. Some of that, more of that. The goo, the ichor. It was on some more trees. There's been no more stragglers coming through the woods, thankfully, but no sign of the aerial death or anything of that like. So we'll take that as a win.
Yeah, at least it's not that close to home yet.
Not yet, but I have the rest of them doing rounds. There's never not someone on one of the bears roaming the border, so we should be okay.
But if anyone ever needs my help, you know where to find me.
Of course. Thank you. Hey, Basha, Loisa. And he pulls her up by the reins, and she's like, gets pulled out. She doesn't want to leave because she's getting all this attention. He goes like, "We'll be around. You come hang."
Yep, sounds great.
Hey, Basha. He gives her a whack, and she goes and starts to move across.
There's more than one of them.
Yeah, I think there's I think it's 4, 5.
Something like that.
Yeah. But you guys continue. And eventually you break right and move away from the extra large burrow at the end of the road. And you cut off a little bit closer to the woodlands where there's one nestled in the trees. Do you want to describe what your house looks like for everybody?
Yeah. So it's if you imagine like a family home mixed with a cottage, that's it. It's like a nice size where you're like, you can fit a family of 4 or 5 in there comfortably. A nice little garden, low maintenance, but a nice little garden out the front of it. And there's a little path that leads out the back of it into some more trees. And yeah, that's kind of what the outside looks like as you're approaching it. And then when you get into the door, like hitch the horses up and push it open, it's like it looks like it should really have that homely vibe to it. Like you open it, it's a nice living room, flows through a kitchen out the back, it's a bit of a hallway, and you can see through the back door that path that leads a bit further. And it's fairly well organized. You can tell that there's not all that much movement that goes through here. It's still. And if you look in the kitchen, there's all these different bottles and jars of dried herbs and teas and mixes and stuff like that. And everything is dustless. Like it's been moved and reorganized and then moved and then redusted and then moved. Except for there's like one jar of jasmine tea that's just covered in dust. That's the one thing that hasn't been moved. And a few like scrapes on the floor and on the walls and stuff. Like you could tell that somebody lives here. But yeah, it's a lot quieter now.
So funny enough, when you do enter, because obviously the door opens, and you hear
oh hello. Hey, we've got visitors.
and from down the hallway, you guys see this young Goliath, like maybe like 19, girl, long black braided ponytail, tied like very thick, voluminous hair, tied in a very heavy set braid. She's wearing like darkened leathers and like some blue hide bottoms, like hides that have been dyed to be a different color, with like her grey skin, some light black tattoos, because obviously Goliaths accumulate their tattoos and markings over time. You've never seen this individual before, but you know this to be Matroya. And she's coming in with like a bunch of like the folded linen that she had taken off the line, and she goes,
I should have warned either of you ahead of time. There are other people living here at the moment, just took alive to kids. Shouldn't be a problem, we've got enough room for it. Visitors, they'll be staying with us for a little while at least, as well.
hi.
Hello.
This is Matroya, and going around to make sure I've got everyone's names right. Voyage.
Yep.
Zefaris. Zero. Swale.
Hi.
Oh.
Okay, now. It's alright. Where's your brother?
He's he's with the tents. He's just helping them put up some ropes for lanterns and all that sort of stuff. So
Wonderful, that's alright.
keeping himself busy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he just likes to break things. Of course.
Yeah, I hope you put these away.
Yeah. Okay. Do you need me to do anything?
No, you're fine. Relax.
Okay, I might go look over the books that you lent me.
No worries.
Okay. And she walks. She walks down the hallway to one of the bedrooms, and you hear the door and shut behind.
So we'll say, during the last combat, there was a time when Zero said Hugle out loud.
Mm-hmm.
That was bad. It's a little bit of ways away, but...
I think because you were like, you get it together.
It, yeah.
Zero is if not an efficient woman, but she's loud as fuck.
Yes.
Canon. That's canon.
Yes.
It's a canon event. But absolutely, yeah. So you would have heard that.
Cannons flying off.
Cool.
No doubt.
And then I'll lead them down to the other room, or the guest room. So a few of you can sleep in here if it's not enough space. The couch is quite comfortable as well. Let me know if you need anything. We've got fresh linens. So, yep,
Thank you.
Thank you for your hospitality.
that's fine. Gotta do something with these rooms.
I can take the couch.
Sorry, bedtime. You have Val. I have dog. But where's Hugle gonna sleep?
Hugo is probably not going to say anything right now, but will probably end up sleeping in the cart.
Oh.
Unless specifically given a space, he doesn't want to intrude.
I mean, you could always sleep in your family's home.
I know, that's like, he's not going to stay in the house unless specifically given a space. Like, so.
Don't be stupid. You're staying with us.
Did you say that?
Yes.
Maybe like Hugo goes to walk out the front door, and you're just like, nope.
Yeah.
That's not my call.
Zeph's eyes just, head's not moving, head is still directed at Hugle, and they just slide to you. And there's just this look that's like, don't fucking kick him out.
At which point Hugle's going to step in and not let anyone answer the question, but come straight over to you. I said, yes, I need a moment.
Zora's just gonna scoop him up and thunk into the room.
There's room enough to stay if you want it.
Thank you, but can you take me to where she's buried?
Of course. You know the path, I'll come with you. And she'll, back door, little pathway, sneak into the forest.
We'll come back to that in a moment. So Hugle and Petunia very tensely leave the hut.
So tense.
You got and it's just
Like
you.
my body right
I was going to say you 3 minutes, you 5. It's you 5 left there. So our party members, Pat and Dog. And Matroya is there, but she's kind of in her room, preoccupying herself to stay away. What happens here? I want to get some brain juice from you guys.
Zero at the moment is standing in the doorway of the room after she shoved them in there, and she's kind of like one hand on the frame, the other hand on the knob, and like she's about to like, she's looking like she kind of like wants to like shut the door, and just like she doesn't feel comfortable at this point in time having a discussion about what's been unfolded. So she's just going to quietly shut the door, and she's just going to go sit on the couch, and she's going to let them discuss it.
So you're on the couch in the living room, and you two are in the bedroom.
You're throwing fuel on the fire. Can you not?
That's why she got inspiration.
Cody likes to see the world burn.
Look, I don't fully know the story. I don't know the lore. What I do know is I'd rather be at Hugle's side than in a house of someone I do not know. So if he goes to the carriage, I'm going to the fucking carriage.
I can respect that, and I agree with you on that. But maybe let's not threaten Petunia.
Hey, I didn't say nothing. There was no verbal threat.
You don't have to. You just give people a look, and we want to shit ourselves. So...
Staring smoke daggers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you suffer from the condition called resting bitch face.
Mhm.
So can you please rein it in a little bit?
Do you know how much it hurts to smile often?
No, because your muscles get used to it after a while.
Look, I'm not going to apologize for that.
I'm not asking you to apologize, I'm just asking for you to rein it in. Because this is something so delicate for Hugle. This is so delicate and precious. And the least we can do to make it any harder for him, the better.
That is why I'm not interfering in the verbal sense.
Just shooting.
Listen.
Liz.
Listen. I did that as a precaution. I do not want him to feel like he has to run away again.
I understand. Believe me, I do.
Listen, I didn't fucking shoot a shot. I didn't kill no one. Alright. Oh, sorry. But after seeing his family, he deserves to be happy.
Oh yeah.
He deserves to be able to come to his home and not feel like he is not wanted. Whenever he's ready, or even if he doesn't want to, that's fine. He can keep that stuff to himself. But whatever happened, truly, the whole story from what we know, he's a good enough guy to get that second chance.
Oh yeah. We're gonna wingman the shit out of him.
Yes, we fucking are.
Now I'm just going to throw it out there too, because today's the first time you've ever heard me referred to by a different name in canon.
Yep.
Let's
We have noticed.
let's.
I know you've noticed. I just want to remind you guys.
The
that
camera,
no
the
one in
camera
canon
pans out from the lock, the keyhole of the bedroom, and we'll pass over you. Is there anything that's going through Zero's mind about the whole situation before we
I'm
follow
looking
the
for family photos with a kid in them.
Are there family photos?
There are family photos.
Would you like to describe perhaps what Zero sees in that photo? Because at the end of the day, the only photos that are left up are the ones that you chose to leave up. So
That's true.
Portraits. Photos don't exist.
that's actually
Anything,
a photo.
anything that was just her and Swale is down. But anything that has the baby in it is up. It doesn't matter if he's in there or not. Anything with the baby is up. So there'd be a couple portraits of them, the three of them all together. Maybe one or two with his family included. And then just a couple here and there of their baby.
What's the oldest it ever gets? She ever gets apologies.
Like
6 months.
6 months? A few months away from 21 maybe at most.
Yeah.
If there's no, because I know that
I said before her first birthday.
Before her first birthday.
Yeah, that's right in the city. Yeah.
I know that it's common in portraits for years to be written on them. If it's not on the front, she literally takes the photo off the wall to look at the back to see the year that's written on them.
4 years ago.
4 years ago, Zero puts it back up and she takes her glasses off. She folds them, puts them in her front pocket, and she like rubs
The
the
bridge.
edge of her nose. And she just goes and sits on the couch, crosses one leg over the other, puts her arms along the back, and lets her head hang back and goes into meditation.
Oh, and you can get a bit of rest. Yeah, you can basically treat it as a short rest if you want.
Yeah.
And now we will go to the halflings. What's happening as we lead through the path? Behind your house, through the little sneaky way that you have.
At this point, going to where they're going, I don't think she could even bring herself to say anything. But this time it's not like the same, like stubborn, angry silence. This one's just a very heavy but introspective kind of silence.
The same with Hugle, as the shame is still like permeating from him, but it no longer feels like it's an awkwardness towards Petunia.
Mm-hmm.
As he walks the steps, he's really like just looking at each step and each rock of this path that they would have built together out to this garden, and taking in at the beginning of the garden what would have been the early days of him by himself, and then slowly as they get further in, areas that they built together until we would roughly hit a point of the garden. So we're walking into this large garden as we come through the opening, and it's just mounds, small mounds that all are just covered in various flowers, some very different to others. Certain ones have a different colour, like, some will be covered in daisies, some will be covered in roses, or a mix of things, but each little mound is its own little ecosystem. And we hit a point where he knows is the daughter's mound.
Off the way a little bit, yeah.
And everything past that point is what has been done since he's been gone.
I will say, the garden is probably the liveliest and most well organised it's ever been. Like, a lot has gone into this. And also, over like a corner of the daughter's mound is a bunch of forget-me-nots.
As we're walking up towards before we hit the mountain, you've done an amazing job.
So my daughters. Someone had to.
Glad someone could. And then as we approach the actual mound, Hugle starts to stagger, almost like losing his balance, and this wave of just dread comes over him. His face goes pale. You grab at his necklace and squeeze it so tight that you see a bit of blood run through the knuckles. Drops to his knees, hand out with the bloody hand, and more galaxy petunias just start sprouting all over the grave. And he just cries.
There you go.
Just weeping. Drops head to the dirt. Just complete breakdown. Nothing said for a moment. He starts almost grasping the dirt in his hands to his face. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And where would you be at that point?
Like, she's very indecisive as to what side of the mound to come up on, the one opposite of the one with him. But I think at that she'd probably walk around and be sitting next to him over this one. And looks like she was trying to hold back tears but failed.
At some point, he'll come up from, like, putting himself in the dirt with dirt in his face, a little bit of blood on his hand, and look to you. You deserve so much better than this.
Don't do that. It's not fair.
I know it's not. What I did wasn't fair.
She was so small. She was so small.
And he'll reach out very slowly towards you and put a hand around the back of your neck and just lean his head against yours.
I couldn't protect her. I couldn't leave her twice.
You're stronger than I am. But I want you to know, I've seen her. She's happy. And she's waiting for us. And he'll, like, tear his necklace off for a second. He may have taken her from us, but she's keeping her safe.
Sometimes things just happen. It's not some grand design. How could it be some grand design? If some god planned this, then it means they planned for her to never get any bigger. They planned for it so that when I go to sleep, I see my baby girl die in my arms, and then I wake up and the bed's as empty as the day that you left. What kind of god would make a plan like that?
It's all chaos. Neither of our gods had this in mind for us, and if they do, they can be damned.
Why did you leave? For two whole months. You'd barely talked. You couldn't look at me. And then what? You were just gone. Just like that. Nothing. You left nothing. You were gone.
And Hugh goes from upset to just in anger and will squeeze the necklace again. What?
Why did you leave?
Fucking bastard. And he'll stand up and take a few steps back. Where's your dad? Where the fuck is he?
Why? Swear what happened.
I didn't leave nothing. And we'll turn and storm away.
Speaking of storms, the roiling clouds of thunder are beginning to traverse overhead, as it seems another rainy season is happening. And by the time you break back into the central of Potts Hollow, we'll start getting some rain, I dare say.
I will say as well, at this point you saw Hugle have a dark purple vein, sort of darkness appear under his eyes as he got real mad.
Oh, we're going to talk about that later.
I've stormed off.
Yeah.
That's fine, I can tell later.
Are you gonna pick up the gang?
Yes, I am. What you guys
We're gonna do an old-fashioned shakedown.
is Hugle will be coming up.
Do you have inspiration already?
Yeah.
That's another one for you, because that was phenomenal.
Yes, well done. That was fucking great, guys.
I was crying.
Yes!
I'm not
I told you I'd get you, you cunt. Anyway, continue.
You're needed.
Door swings open, little wet halfling.
Gun straight in the holster.
Yeah, daggers come out of the little holsters as well.
And we are storming further up the hill.
So she's definitely not far behind, especially by the time that she's sprinting to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely.
What the fuck is happening? You need to talk to me this time.
This is happening as you're like marching up the fucking hill towards that really, really big burrow that you guys saw at the top.
And at this point, the purple under the eyes with these almost spidery, electricity-looking veins is like intense. And he's almost locked in.
He's locked in.
Ties the necklace back around.
Look at me. What happened?
I didn't leave nothing.
What did you leave?
Rubs the wedding finger. I was weak. I was fucking pathetic. But I wouldn't leave you without an explanation. How close are we to there?
I'd say probably 40 feet if you're moving while you're talking. Lights are on, you can see some smoke faintly coming through the rain of the chimney.
Turn towards your parents' house with a rage.
Whatever it is you're thinking of doing. Please don't make this worse for
Rubbing
me.
the necklace, and the eyes of the necklace start to glow. It's preparing spells.
Yeah. Bit of static.
Eyes kind of dart back and forth between you and the house. I'm going to metagame right now and say that you, knowing Swale, can tell if there's no intervention right now, something's about to go down.
Hell yeah.
Last time, you were the problem because you ran. Don't make this time the problem because you decided to start a fight. Think about it for a second.
I'll look back to the group. What vibe do I get from everybody?
Shh.
bitch.
He shouldn't have asked, bro.
I know.
He shouldn't have asked. Zero's got a hand over the barrel to keep the powder dry. Like, fuck you, dog.
And I'll also say, you've never seen this kind of rage and anger in him before. He was always very calm. Almost would back away from a fight. This is a different side of him. What vibe do I get from you guys?
Zeph's got daggers ready to go and just kind of gives you a look like, you've got the fucking call, mate.
I don't think there's canonically ever been a time where Dog's genuinely been angry, but he looks revved for a fight. However, Voyage is going to back you up. There's concern there in a sense of, is this really the right move? We've just gotten here. Are we going to raid some small people's house? Are we going to raid some small people's house? We just got here.
Yeah, I always know these two are up for a fight. We've had the most relationship, you know the most of my history. So your concern definitely brings me down. You need to talk to your father before
I plan to. Trust me, I plan to. Look around. You see that? Do you think that's normal for this town? All the feckin' Maggie set up. Stuff has changed since you've been gone. At least get reacquainted with your situation before you start trying to start fights. For feck's sake.
Looks back to the house.
Now is not the time. There will come a time. Believe me, there will. You're not the only one who's mad at the situation.
At this point, the purple starts to fade back. His eyes kind of come back to normal. And he looks to you, just drenched with the rain. And bursts out in tears, drops to his knees, and just wraps his arms around your legs. I'm so fucking sorry.
We're not done talking. And chilling at you in the street's probably not going to make the situation any better, is it?
I don't know what came over me. As usual, you're right.
I guess Pops isn't the only thing that's changed.
I need to sleep.
Well, clean yourself up, have a sleep, we'll talk tomorrow. But there's more that needs to be said. Fair?
Fair. I'm sorry I got you all out in the wet. Let's go to bed.
Like you said with Mr. Kane, I'll always be here for you.
Drops the head, and it's hard to tell at this point the tears from the rain, but you can tell there's...
Zeph will give Hugle a hug.
And he'll hug back. Thank you. It's getting warm.
We head back to Petunia's house. Upon entering, there is the weather kind of dissipates a little bit, and the fireplace has been lit because you also see, drenched from head to toe in the rain, with his like Mohican haircut and his leathers and his spear on his back, is Mateo, the brother of Matroya. I just need to remember how old he is, because I think he's a bit younger. He's a little bit younger, this boy. Yeah, 17. Like, he's 17, so he's really young in the face, but fuck me, is he cut. This boy is ripped as fuck. He wears, the pieces of wood, like splint armor kind of deal. blue, like tipped, dyed bottoms like his sister. And they're very similar in the face. Like even though like they're still young, they've just got really round faces. And he's a big boy, but he looks very sweet. He has this very warm, tender look in his eyes. But he's driven from head to toe, and he's like, "Fucking god, this guy's damn water." Oh, hi. Like because he's like it's just armor, no clothes underneath. He's just bare. He's raw dogging life right now. He's like, what? That's que matador, huh?
Yeah, it was a bit. These are people who'll be staying with us next little while. Voyage, Zefaris, Zero. Swell. It's been a day.
Oh, sorry.
Go dry yourself off, get warm.
Good idea. He like so the fire's cranking. You guys are feeling warm, but the he walks down and like goes to his room and like he starts to like get like water ready to like boil and have a bath. What happens?
Here's some blankets and towels to get a bit warmer. Does anyone like some tea?
That's probably a really good idea. Thank you for offering.
That's alright.
Sure, thank you.
Right. Any special flavors or?
Lucky dip.
Okay. And she puts a kettle on and she makes up a little blend that she thinks will suit everyone. And like she's fully guessing, but like they all taste a little bit different. And hopefully to your tastes.
I think you guys get it, and there's something el natural about it that just hits a different. It's like having dinner cooked by your mum kind of vibe. It just hits different. And stop that. It's instant.
Oh, we're going so well.
I know. Now that, all right. But like everyone's cup kind of has a different flavor, but you get the same thing where it's like this. So all of a sudden, this huge warm rushes over you, and just and all the tension in your body kind of lets loose, and you just feel a little bit better.
And the whole while her hands are shaking at least a little bit while she's prepping it. She's just avoiding eye contact with everyone by just facing the bench while she's working.
Like that, like the shaking of tea stuff.
That kind of shake. And yeah, she just hand out all the teas. Is the bathroom if anyone wants to clean up. Let me know what you need.
Hugle will be off in the corner or like just against one of the walls, just wherever the pictures of
Right through the house.
He will have just picked one, probably of the three of them, and just standing in front of it, staring, sort of has his hand up against the wall, half shaking.
Is anyone hungry? Anyone want something to eat?
Famished. Starving.
Wonderful. I'll see what we have.
Zero just puts food to bed, bro. That woman eats so much. It just makes me laugh.
Just goes about making food with whatever's left in the home. Puts it all into like a stew or something. Anything that's like...
I think in that instance, Matroya would come out and kind of see you like powering through the kitchen and kind of like gives the broken fewer a polite little nod and a wave, lingers on Zeph for a moment, who's got like the fucking like really I think it's looking, because you've got the glasses, so the glasses kind of like dissuade the staring. People can't like see through them. They think it's part of the shades, but she looks
Probably
to you.
best.
Yeah. And then sees just these white pits and is like, and goes over this really like 7 foot tall teenage girl with this 3 foot tall halfling in the kitchen. And we'll come to that in a moment, but what happens? Is there any communication between the group? Does anyone do anything? Does anyone take the offer to go wash up and get clean?
Zero just is gonna walk over to Hugle, hold out her cup of tea. Can you hold that for me, please? Good lad. She'll walk over, grab a towel, and go to the bathroom. He needs it more than her.
Fair enough. And yeah, you're able to do so. So, you know, a couple of like buckles of like iron, like cauldrons of water, typical timber bucket coals, so you can like heat the water up, and it's like its own little fireplace in there for the bathroom. And you're able to have like just a nice piping hot bath and just get rid of the last fucking 6 days worth of bullshit off your body. And I think while you're like sitting in the bath, like just soaking in the water, there's ever so faintly the clamping of 2 hands on your shoulder as he's bald.
In the bath.
Hey, look, he could have Freddy Kruegered it, right? He's a bit more modest than that. He's come from the back, you know, he's not fucking peeking. But he gets,
Off by my headband.
he gets a bit close and he goes, oh, that was cool.
4 years.
Mm-hmm. Big head around the corner looking you in the eyes.
I'd never say this to his face, but he better have a fucking good explanation. I mean, my husband left me, and I burnt his fucking corpse. I could not imagine. It doesn't matter. I don't know the whole story. Distance. She just looks so sad.
Pain's a funny thing. Especially the way it gets inflicted on people. Sometimes inaction is the knife that stabs the deepest. I don't know, it's all just very juicy. This big forked tongue comes out.
Those eyes are hollow.
Almost like looking in a mirror, huh?
No, this is different.
Oh. And he disappears from your back, and then he pops up along the side, and he goes, and puts his hand on, and his head's so fucking huge. Yeah. Elaborate.
I don't know if this has any kind of happy ending for them. There is resentment, grief, loss, loneliness. That's a lot happening in such small eyes. I will... I don't know if I can stand by Hugle in this.
Well, eyes behind, and then he, from like the corner of your periphery, like he stands in the corner, full stature, having to bend like right the fuck down to fit in this fucking tiny little hobbit house. Halfling house, sorry. Don't sue. Yeah, don't fucking gun for me, motherfucks. And he goes, would it be so bad? You can't do something like that and not come back and have it bite you in the ass.
I don't think anybody here wants him to actively suffer. Hugle is a reasonable man. I'm sure he has some sort of explanation, but mother to mother. You're a mother for a day, you are a mother for a lifetime.
There are a few people back home that could learn from you, I think, my dear. Anyway, I'll leave you to your indecency. Leans down,
Thank you, fuck off.
kisses you on the hand, and then disappears into the shadow.
He's such a gentleman, sinks into the water.
Who next?
Sorry.
Now that's in character. That's the awkward cough in absolute silence.
Just sit in front of the fire, both of them holding the tea that hasn't been fucking touched.
You're still just there in front of the photo, holding your tea.
Thanks.
All unintentional jokes aside, Voyage does approach Hugle, and there's just a gentle hand on the shoulder. Hang on, it's down here. There's just... He kind of leans in a little bit and he goes... I don't know everything. It's not my place to know everything. But what I know is you're just beating yourself up more when you know damn well she's in a better place right now. So maybe let's take a break from looking at this photo. Step away. I didn't see Zero slip anything into the tea. So maybe...
He'll sit the tea down.
Zeph in the background.
He sits the tea
Liquor!
down. It's not my blend. And it's not my fear for where she is now. I know that. I've only had the one portrait for so long. It's nice to look how perfect she was. Reaches out the photo. It's one thing knowing that I was coming to face it, but seeing the damage that I did.
What has been done has been done. What matters now is what you do going forward.
I need you to help me. I lost myself before. I don't know what's coming over me lately. Keep me in line.
I'll do my best. But fuck, man, that was scary.
I could have killed him.
Yeah.
And for a second you see a little bit of that purple in the eyes, but it doesn't last. Takes breath.
Whatever has been done, be the bigger person. Be the bigger person now. It's gonna be fucking hard, but you're gonna be the bigger person, because we're gonna make sure. Come on. Hell, take the photo with you and sit with it in your lap if you need to. Get out the corner. You're not you when you're hungry.
Yeah, have a sniff at it. Comes over to the fire and sits there pretty quietly, sort of looking around at what's the same from when he left and what's changed. Even.
Can I get you to roll a perception check for me, please? You. Yeah.
Sorry, I got distracted. I was
just enraptured in the moment.
Oh, okay. Maybe no, it's pretty flat. 11.
Okay, thank you. What about Zeph? And we'll say this can be over the course of like an hour, where everyone eventually will like take turns to like have a bath and relax and stuff, because it takes a while to like prep dinner and all that sort of jazz.
I think once Zero comes out, Zeph will go in and clean themselves up and everything like that. But it'd just be just watching, really. Like, you know, slightly confused, but also ready to slit a throat at any given time.
What a line! Cold-blooded!
And it's just kind of leaving the ball in Hugle's lap to tell everyone if he so wishes to. Because it's not Zeph's place to poke and prod as much as I would like to. But
me, Monica!
yeah. But it'd just be Just observing, just reading people.
Yeah, downloading the scene around
Yeah, getting as much information as I can without asking any questions.
you. Okay, definitely. Yes.
In addition,
Mm-hmm.
the cup of tea that gets abandoned, wherever it got abandoned, Voyage is specifically going to go and collect it. He's going to approach the kitchen and he's going to try and make an executive decision on what Hugle would actually like, while quietly moving in the background and not disturb the cooking.
I think once you're in the kitchen, it's any welcome distraction. Are you right? You're looking for something?
I was just... Looks at Zero's full cup of tea, like, fuck.
It's alright.
I was just hoping to make... He kind of stops and he's all like, fuck, what do I call Hugle? Hugle? A cup of tea?
I've got the one for it. And she'll walk back over to that one jar of jasmine tea where the dust is still collected and just... These are the ones he used to like. And starts making tea. And halfway through she sort of pauses and goes, I don't know if he likes it anymore. Well, that's what he has.
Put the dust in it.
In the shadow.
Spits in the tea.
Zero's trying to like communicate.
She like turned black. Like,
A creepy hand comes out.
He's like, oh, don't mind if I do.
And then just hand it to you. It's like, that's fine. I hope you liked your tea. If you didn't, that's totally alright.
It was lovely. Thank you very much. Again, very gracious host. He's got a towel over his head.
Fabulous.
Like the
The
rat hair.
horns sticking through.
Not wrapped. Not wrapped. It's just hanging.
The horns are like a towel rack.
Yeah.
It's doing nothing to dry his actual
Now,
head.
It's drying the
question.
towel, boy.
Here's the question though. Have you done the hot boy summer and you've come out with just the pants and no shirt?
No.
Okay.
Everything else is still on.
Are you sure there was a Hugle at you?
There's two of them.
Yeah.
However, the boy is off the table. The boy is off the table.
No, I think
Technically, I don't have the sending stone yet. I haven't heard from him in over a week.
I thought I gave it to you when we left.
I don't think you did.
You man whore.
Oh, you can just say you did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like upon leaving, I. Yeah, when we were.
It very well might have happened. Yeah, sorry, I didn't make a note of it.
My bad. However, comrade, no, I've been spending all this time taking care of these goddamn horses to get me good books. You really think I'm going to sleep around? Not right now. I've invested too much time.
Poor Matroya
Only reason.
is in that kitchen, and when you walk up, like the towel over the wet hot boy summer thing, she fucking goes bright red. She's like,
I love this running theme that everyone has a crush on me.
well, she's a young girl. She's like 19.
Why does this keep happening?
You made a hot boy. Deal with the hot boy repercussions.
I made a queer.
Voyage.
Yes.
That doesn't mean he can't not be attracted to other people.
Voyage. Just gives Voyage a pedo mustache. Solved.
Recede his hairline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start pulling.
A box fade. That's one football field too far.
Don't you fucking dare. He's growing his hair out. Comes over with the cup of tea to Hugle. She made it how you used to like it. I hope that works for you.
Does it? And you see, like, for the first time all day, the tenseness sort of drop. And a smile. Not a big smile, but just a... And you look up to the kitchen. Does he make eye contact? Are you just busy?
Yeah, she. I think she'd be busy, and then like every now and then just surveying to make sure everyone's okay. And I see a catch a glance at that point.
And just a sly smirk and a nod. And go back to the tea and just staring into the fire.
Sort of look away, and then a very small, trying to suppress sort of smile comes across her face as well. But just because this is the first time since he's been back, she's seen him calm the fuck down. And like, she doesn't want to see him in pain. So seeing him actually take a breath, especially after the escapades of the afternoon, it's like, okay, this is a place we can move from. This is a place where we can progress and not be stuck in the same loops. And then she keeps cutting carrots.
With a little bit of extra force. Yeah, we can progress. Cutting the carrots.
Snap it.
So,
Yeah, he looks up to smile. And
And I just pulls out a baby carrot. Bang!
Holy cunt. I'm surrounded by wackos.
You
that's
do
a
this
good-
when you put the table together, my friend.
That's a good tangent, though. We'll cut to you in the kitchen with Matroya. Mateo's still in his room, kind of like just being a bit of a lazy butt because he does a lot of like labor-intensive jobs. He kind of just it passes out a little bit in in his bed. But Matroya's helping you put dinner together over the course of an hour as everyone's had their showers, so their baths rather. No showers here. And she kind of like bumps up against you, and you're like, "So that's him."
yes, that's who he is now.
Not the same. No.
No, he's changed. Which, I mean, we all knew it was gonna happen. Everyone changed. I've changed. I don't know.
You find she's like helping like wash vegetables and prep them and stuff. I don't know anything about that situation leading up to this little quick reunion that you're having here, but you have me and Mateo. We'll be here. We'll do what we have to do.
I'm sorry for the position I've put you in as well. That's not fair to you.
Well, I think the position we're in now is better than the position we were in before. All things considered.
Well, I'm happy to help.
And she leans down, just use a little kiss on the head.
Leans into it.
And she gives it a little cuddle. And you guys are able to eventually cook up like a veggie stew
Yeah.
kind of deal. Nice big piping hot bowls of like vegetable stew for you guys eventually gets served across. Is there like a table or anything?
Yeah, that'd be a table.
A dinner table? Yeah. It's definitely cut for a shorter folk, but you know, you guys can all like cram in, kind of like almost like trying to jam in on a kiddie table.
Yeah.
You can do it. But I'll put it to the party, like how dinner goes down.
Think of the way that I can imagine it is Shrek.
Wow. Just aggressively breaking bones off the pig.
Yeah, because I feel with the mass amount of emotion and tension and all that sort of shit that's going on, Zeph doesn't know how to cope with that. Zeph's the put it in a box, forget about it, doesn't exist sort of thing. And to see two people be so openly emotional about things that have happened is kind of just like, well, I'm just gonna sit here awkwardly, not say a fucking thing, because if I open my mouth, it's either gonna be disrespectful or disrespectful.
I got two settings. Fuck you and fuck you.
Yeah, so it's just gonna be just utter silence from Zeph at the dinner table and just the clanging of the utensils and munching.
I feel like Mateo and Matroya will kind of like just sit in front of the fire because they're kids at heart, you know what I mean? They're not really one to eat at the table. But I think it's where we some of you can't help but glance over and they're both just sitting there just like like just eating and just watching. And like Matroya's trying to keep it like kind of like subtle and Mateo's just like Like, he can't help himself. He just fucking wants to download all of this information. Locks eyes with you. It's like, He's like,
There's a few quick waves of the hand. Under the table? No, beside it. Because it's very short.
he wouldn't fit.
Yeah. To send dog to go distract them so they stop kind of staring. He's just trying to take the pressure off them. Shit.
From around the table. Just slithers his way up and then plants in front, but obviously sits up like a Great Dane. So he just goes, oh, hey there.
Distraction
He is a simple boy.
activated.
We love him, but he's simple.
You know, in the city, we have this thing called chocolate.
Oh, really? What's that like?
Hugo perks up for a minute.
And you know, when Hugle first came to city, he very much liked chocolate, full of sugar. He is little sugar machine. Diddy used to have this in tea because he is banned from sugar now. And you know, he wanted to know where it came from, and I took full advantage of his ignorance, and I told him that chocolate grew from the ground. And that depending on the season it was planted in, it would make different flavor of chocolate.
That's so cool. How is chocolate grown?
You plant it in the ground. No!
But not in the way that. Look, they were half right, but
It is you take the chocolate bar
Okay.
that you have harvested from last season,
Don't
alright, the
fucking
chicken
listen
or
to
the
her.
egg, alright, you know, there's the bait, and then you put it in the ground, and then eventually it grows a big stalk, and more chocolate bars grow from it.
And what do these chocolate bars look like?
They look
Shut
like
up.
piles of shit.
I actually. And he's gonna go to his bag of holding, and he'll pull out when he robbed the candy store way earlier on.
Oh, yeah. Holy damn, I forgot you committed a robbery.
And they be refrigerated too!
Yeah, he's got like a really fancy box that of everything he's devoured, he's kept untouched. And sort of slides it across the table.
That was not my fault.
Hides the glass wound.
Look, I think we robbed one, and then I spent all the gold I had at one point on chocolate.
Yeah.
Slides it across the table. I kept this one for you. Only a little bit.
A little bit.
It has an effect.
What kind of an effect? What's she getting me into?
Look, it's really good. But just train. If you have too much, you don't feel too well the next day. It's like borrowing energy from tomorrow.
Is that a good thing?
It can be. Just don't overdo it. I learned. I learned.
You ate Hugo, you ate a heinous amount, okay? What you put in front of her, she will be fine to eat. What you ate would kill an elephant. You are fine.
I overdid it a little bit.
Takes like the corner off it to be safe. To be
God,
careful.
it's so sweet. So sweet.
And they just have this around in the city.
The city is insane.
And they have stuff like this.
This is just the beginning. I saw more people in a 30-foot square radius than I've ever seen in this entire village. It's fucking disgusting, though. I can hardly breathe while I'm there.
How do you manage?
I had good guides. Well, mostly. They also got me into a bit of trouble.
Sounds right.
Not that I need too much help with that.
No, you'll know that.
What's been going on here?
You remember that? You remember that plague that came through, like, what was it, 4 years ago?
He sinks back into himself again. All too well.
It's kind of back, kind of not, kind of new this time. There's a reason that the garden is as well grown as it is. It's been really dark here for a while. All the marquees and the tents set up where the kids are from, they got massacred. It was terrible. They came flooding in looking for safety. We had to give it to them, you know how we are. So much death.
You'll never turn away someone you need.
There was no small amount of undeath either. It followed them back. That's why we've got the towers and the borders set up. It's been getting closer. Yeah. I don't know if we have the ability to stop it.
Rob's the necklace.
You'll want to see your family again tomorrow. Not everyone's been so lucky.
How's your mom?
Hmm?
How's your mom?
Same old, same old. Some things haven't changed in 4 years.
Nothing will ever change with them. And as he starts saying that, you can see like him gripping his cutlery like real tight.
I think she clocks it but doesn't say anything about it this time, sort of.
Continues with the food. The food's great, thank you.
Like Matroya. She's quite a whiz in the kitchen.
Thank you for putting up this lot.
Yes, thank you. Again, very
That's what we
kind.
do. Never turn away a traveller in need. It's a small price to pay to live in such a place.
If there's anything we can be doing while we're here.
I think Matroya's got you beat.
I am a great cook.
That is the first time Zef's just like, no, she's not.
The second you're like, that'd be great cook. By all means, come help me. I'm not the best myself. We make do. I'd love to have the help.
I can show you a couple of things.
No. You'll have no kitchen.
What?
You don't need any help. I always loved your soup. Don't ruin her.
What? I'm just saying, like, city cooking is different to, like paradise cooking.
Very, very different.
They don't have delivery here.
Shut the fuck up!
You should have seen where this one was living.
I was just about to ask, what's it like outside? I've never really been far from those woods.
Well, Zefaris actually has very similar home. Well, as much as one can be obtained within the metropolis of death. Anyways, Zefaris, why don't you explain your family home? Very, very similar to what's around here. Father does wood.
Oh, really?
Yes.
It did remind me of home.
Yeah, that is quite a staple here.
Now, I specifically did say back when we were in Zero's apartment first, I threw out like a map of the perspective from her view.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
So I'll pull out and be like, this is what she looks over, and unravel this big sketched drawing that I've since added a bit of colour.
Like a perspective,
to,
yeah.
it's perspective of the city. How many people live in this city?
Ooh,
Couple of 100,000.
a couple of 100,000.
100,000?
Yes, we have to basically live on top of each other.
It's a megalopolis, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
My kids used to love that view.
You have kids?
3.
That's wonderful.
They would have loved it here.
They're always welcome,
I'll let them know to look for Petunia.
of course. They've got plenty of room for it. Wow. How high up is this?
High enough that you will die if you fall.
That's incredible.
It blew my mind. There's a lot out there that
You're very lucky. This is lovely.
Yes, lucky. But Zefaris is home. Like little cottage in the middle of a shithole. It's like a little oasis.
That's incredible.
Tell them about your plants. And all your siblings. Just like here.
I've got a dwarven family.
That's brilliant. What are they like?
Like Hugle's family. I've got 2 red-headed fire truck looking twin brothers.
What's a fire truck?
A
wee woo.
A wee woo. A fireball.
fireball looking.
Yeah. Twin brothers that are very much like his triplet sisters. Full of energy, with nowhere for it to go. Quite like Hugle on chocolate, actually. I really hope you don't see that.
Well, there's not much out here, so I feel like we're at minimal risk for that one.
Have you still got the stolen chocolate that you took off Hugle?
Shut the fuck up.
The emergency stash is an emergency stash for a reason.
I should have brought Hugo back from the dead.
Yeah, just over his nose.
Yeah.
Death save.
Just not even arms, just straight in the hip.
You know, like in Critical Role, where they're like, "Now how do you try and bring them back from the dead?" I bring out the chocolate. Success!
Who needs a diamond?
Mm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of homes, you never told us much of yours.
It's a bit far away.
Whereabouts?
Masal.
That's a whole other continent.
Yeah.
How far have you travelled?
Yeah, a long way. A very long way. Yeah. Lots of farms out this way. Kind of reminds me of home. The smell of the ocean was on the water forever to get over here, but found family for a little while, you know? I'll hear from my parents sometime soon, I'm sure. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you could find a little bit of home out here.
Of course.
Your Unerashroud countryside.
Yeah, feel like I've been adopted. Sweat.
Oh yes, I lied. I have 6 children.
But it's been a fun journey since I stumbled across half a person in the middle of a muddy trail. It's been quite an adventure since.
From across the living room, when you say it's been a fun adventure, you hear that from Dog. Like, Indraconic is like, ah!
This one found me making a burial mound in the woods.
Indraconic,
Strange
just
size.
shouting. Shut up! Don't you spill my secrets!
He does this. I don't.
I apologise.
Not at all. You've done nothing to apologise for.
Thinks of all the colourful words he just shouted at Dog. Yeah.
Do you see Draconic?
Speaking of pets, Pat is like, you're like trying to eat, and all of a sudden you're like, as a chair, and you see Pat's trying to jam himself under the chair to try and get himself in a primo position where he can catch scraps. But the problem is he's too fucking wide. He's like a bulldog. So he's like...
Zeph will just like get him to come around and sit beside them instead of try and get under the chair, and then
He'll sit.
just hand him some more food.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. He sits and you find he's a bit more not teenagery around this time. He's a bit more obedient, which is good.
Is there any way I can be put to work while you're here? This lot have a motley collection of skills, and I've kind of gotten a little bit better in the healing space.
We could always use more hands. You notice that the foreground's all medicinal flowers. That's all used for different healing stuff. Siobhan's a bit overworked these days, you know what, with the plague and undeath and all that. I'm sure there'll be things to do. Like I said, the forest is encroaching and it's becoming less and less hospitable. Something will give. Something always gives. I'm sorry I've come to pots at such a time. I'm sure any other time it's lovely here. We're facing something at the moment, that's all.
Hugle has done great work in the city cleaning up the streets of a drug epidemic that is happening there. You know, he's not from the city, but he came in and was impassioned by the cause. He's done much for people he does not even know. I'm sure if you gave him the opportunity, the wonders that he could do for people that he deeply loves and cares about would be unmatched.
Well, there'll be plenty of opportunities about. What with all that's happening, I'm sure we'll find something.
You say the word.
Thank you. How's everyone's stew?
Beautiful, thank you very much.
It was delicious.
Perfect.
Zero's bowl is pristine.
It's gonna ding.
Yeah.
Seconds anyone? We've got leftovers. Always do.
But sure enough, in time, maybe in a half an hour.
You probably never
Dinner.
had vegetables so fresh either. But
No, fuck no.
Not like
No.
this, mate. Not like this. In the city, it's all mass production.
It was the kombucha fucking girl me where she was all like,
Yeah, literally. By this point, I think in the afternoon, we're probably hit about like 7 o'clock in the evening. And dinner wraps up. Matroya gets up and picks up her and her brother's bowls and starts to help you wash up. And she goes, I can deal with this if
Are
you
you
want.
sure?
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind.
Thank you. Is that why I'm gonna like? No, I have to step away from the kitchen. What the kitchen was saying.
the three of us gone.
Have you guys gone to the room to like? Or,
I'm outside tending to the horses,
oh yeah, making sure they got their little.
making sure they're not going to drown overnight.
Yeah, I think so the rain's still kind of perpetually going. The main of it has passed, but it's still popping down. But you see in the distance, as you go outside and you're like making sure they got their little hoodies on and stuff and making sure they're all nice and warm. You can see like this glow off in the distance, and you realise like where like the tents and the shanties were. There's they've put up huge posts and run ropes along them, and they've got lanterns hanging on the ropes to like kind of like street lights, like illuminating their little area. And you can hear some like ever so faintly in the distance, like some like kind of jovial folk like tribal music going, a bit of a jaunt happening off in the distance. But you tend to the horses as such, and they're okay. They're doing well. They
Cool.
feel much more relaxed here than what they did out there,
Yeah.
for sure. What about everybody else?
Zero's just commandeered the lounge room. She's sitting on the lounge and she's using the very nice and natural coffee table in front of her as her gun cleaning station.
Ooh. Oh, okay then.
I put a cloth down first.
Oh,
I have a nice towel she gave me.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
So I'm not putting soot or any gunpowder on the table, thank you.
I'm not a complete fucking barbarian.
Yeah.
Bitch. What about Zeph? What are they doing?
I think Zeph will just sit by the fire with Pat and Dog and just play with them.
Oh, mate, Pet Central.
Mm.
Life's
Yeah.
good. Life's good.
Yeah.
Serotonin, high.
Zeph's just in their own world, good smile on their face, and it looks weird to you because they haven't smiled since you met them.
Oh, now show them how you mind me.
Yeah, I do. It's definitely like you're like roughhousing them, and like even Mateo's like kind of like on his back, and he's like wrestling fucking Pat, and he's just like, and they're like, and eventually it gets to the point where Pat starts getting like aggro about it, and it turns into a fucking rolling match, and Mateo's like, whoa, and he like wraps his legs around, he's like, easy. But it's good fun. It is a vibe. I think by this point, with how much effort you've put in like little subtle gestures, you kind of won him over, I think. So when he's all tucking out and Mateo lets him go from his little chokehold, he comes over and just goes, and his little tongue sticks out of his beak.
Just patting my boy, patting my Pat.
There's a little smile across Petunia's face when she sees you happy for the first time. Like, okay. The people in my home are all right. They're tended to. It's okay.
Little owlbear. Dog lays in front of the fire and turns into a liquid.
Yeah, just patting them both.
Yeah, deflates.
Yeah.
I feel like Pat's big enough that you could lay on him like a pillow and like just be like encompassed in feathers. It'd be amazing.
Hugo would be sitting back in sort of like one of the corners of the room looking out over his like found family in his old home. Sort of enjoying himself, everyone's calm and just a bit of a smile on his face. And running his fingers through his cowl and some of the forget-me-nots like on the grave start intertwining with the other plants and flowers that he's got there.
I'm gonna go through.
We never finished that conversation. Can you have it now, or do you need to sleep on it?
Talk.
Can you answer?
I'll never lie to you.
Follow me. She'll lead them around to the bedroom, because that's the only room in the house where she can like reasonably close the door off to separate it out.
Tucks up against the wall.
I was going to say, the walls are not thick here.
Zeph just disappears. Zeph is in the room.
If you saw the camera, two halflings go and Zeph's crawling across the room. Like,
There's a lamppost in the corner, like, how do you put that there?
I'm going.
it's just a lampshade. Absolutely. But the door shuts. Describe what the master bedroom looks like now.
It's pretty like relatively sparse compared to the rest of the house. There's not like a lot on displays, not heaps of shelves. Double bed, not really need much more than that. Definitely don't need that much now.
I was looking down reading my notes and I just heard ooh, and I was like, wow. That had some oomph behind it.
Nights like a chest of drills, and on the top there's some more like just bottles of herbs and like salves and stuff. A few loose leaves on the table where it's gotten muddled. Photo of the family, and a photo of just the baby. And then there's a little desk in one of the corners where it's clearly a workstation. Like there's some boxes, there's some jars and stuff. There's a couple little knickknacks, and you're like, oh, stuff is happening there. And then in the other corner there's a little rocking chair, and it's the same rocking chair as the one she had when baby was born. It's in the same place, and in another part of the room, because she couldn't bring herself to move it at this point. Is the bassinet.
Get the chocolate!
Oh my god. Elbow deep. Macho man.
I'm going to place it in his stomach.
Jesus.
One way or another.
Yeah, I was about to say one way or another it is getting in there.
But it's like, how could you bring yourself to move something like that?
Hugle would walk up to that corner and just run his hand along the wood
I couldn't bring
and
myself to
reach
get it
down
away.
into like the pillow. By the gods, I am so fucking sorry. You shouldn't have had to deal with this yourself.
No, I shouldn't have. You never answered my question in the garden. Why did you leave?
I thought it was my fault.
That's it.
I wish I had a better reason. I didn't feel wanted. I didn't feel that I could help. I didn't know what to do. You were No. This one's on me. No matter what else. I don't have a reason that would ever make up for any of it.
And give me a reason that doesn't. But you gotta give me something more than because you thought it was your fault.
Nothing has broken me more. Seeing a mushroom in the ground. I worship death. I understand it. It's part of the cycle, but it's different when it's yourself. I would have rather be the one in the ground.
You think I wouldn't have?
I know in any heartbeat you would have swapped places with her. I didn't leave you with nothing.
So what? You thought it was your fault and you were, what, protecting us from the death?
I was convinced that my worship was what brought the plague. I didn't know what to do.
When your sister was bleeding out on the streets, and where were you? You made me go through that alone. You weren't protecting anyone from anything.
What happened?
The undeath came through. Her and Colton went looking, trying to help the tribes. Something went wrong.
Is she okay?
She's fine now.
Oh, thank God.
We got her back to Siobhan's in time. She's missing a leg, but she's living.
She didn't mention that.
When would she have had the chance?
I spoke to her a while ago.
How long?
Just a few weeks.
Hmm?
Did it happen after that?
No, I don't think he did. No, I think she spoke to you And then it happened, like, right after.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been speaking to Dar recently. He didn't mention anything.
You really think he'd want to stress you on your big journey?
They're too fucking good sometimes.
They care about you. And I wasn't the only one who got hurt when you left. God. The brother and son that they loved was mourning, was broken, was grieving, and you disappeared into the forest. What were we... How are we to know that you could even have the chance of coming home? No one could find you. The only one who benefited from your leaving was you. You can't get the choice of leaving and having that opportunity for closure and then come back here and expect us to pity you. At least have the gall to own up to that. Galaxy dying was not your fault. None of us could have stopped it. What was your fault was what you chose to do afterwards. That's what I blame you for.
I went out there to die.
I know. And how fair is that to the rest of us?
I couldn't save her. What place do I have?
So you'd make us lose both of you? I wouldn't wish the death of a child on anyone. And yet, you're out here, just... You know, for 4 years, I sat...
4 years.
It's been 4 years. You weren't counting. I was. I've thought every night about what I'd say to you, never thinking I'd see your face again, and now you're here in front of me, and I just... Godspeed, I don't have the words. Did you find what you were looking for? Except for death, obviously.
Apparently I didn't deserve the peace of death.
Enough of that.
No. I didn't find what I was looking for. I still don't know what I was looking for. I still don't know what I am. I still don't know why I'm on this planet. I don't know what my purpose is. If I couldn't protect her, couldn't go back over to the crib. I failed more than I thought was possible for most of my life. And then I failed in response to the failure. And I don't expect pity. I don't want pity. There's nothing to pity. I am not the man that I'd hoped I could be. I couldn't be there for you. So I've tried to be there for my matron.
Of course. Do you know how strange it is being the other woman in your own relationship?
Okay, off the table that.
Oh. 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 Yeah, actually, real quick.
I had two choices when we lost Galaxy. It was deny what I'd always believed or double down. doubles down. I thought I could do more good if I traveled north and tried to keep the undeath from ever getting closer to our home. And
That worked out well.
there's more going on with that than you know.
Probably.
I feel that I have a job in this world, and I thought it would be a father. But that was taken from me. I'm getting better at dealing with hard situations. I've helped a lot of people with their grief. Every time I do, it makes me wish that I could have been there doing that for you.
Well, you weren't, and you can't change that now.
No, I cannot.
Could I ever have been enough to make you stay? Don't answer. That only make me sad.
A tear. Like a single tear. As he was trying to hold himself together. You were everything. There's not been a day I haven't. And he'll pull out and unfold the family portrait that looks worn edges. It looks like it's been cried on. It looks like it's been touched back up. It looks it's been through it. You're more than enough, but I don't deserve what you are. You are everything that makes this world bright, and I snuffed that out. I don't just bring the death of those I love, I bring the death of relationships, I bring the death of hope.
On and on about this you bringing death thing. Why do you think that? Do you really think you as a person on this mortal plane has the ability to bring death to things? Do you think you have that kind of control?
Some people around here do.
Do you think you have that kind of control?
I guess not.
Then you're either a fool in yourself or you're a fool as it is.
I've always known that about me, haven't you?
Yeah, well now your actions have hurt people. People you were supposed to care for. I watched them grieve the 4 years you were gone. They lost a family member. Don't you dare make them go through that again. That's not fair to them. Maybe you think you don't deserve whatever it is, but they don't deserve the indignity of being treated like that.
You're right. I've known it for a while, but I've never been good at facing my fears. The group out there helped me with it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really want to make my way through this pass. I'm still not sure I'm ready to have these conversations.
Well, you better become ready pretty quickly. Because it's time to have them, Swell. It was time 4 years ago. You can't keep putting things off.
I want to be here for you. I want to be here for them. There's a lot more going on this continent that I can't quite explain right now. I'll catch you up on it, but
Sure.
as long as Home's in trouble, I'm not going anywhere.
Well, I'm certainly in trouble. And for fuck's sake, at least leave a note this time for them. At least, no, not a fuck that. Don't leave a note. Talk to them. Use your words and say, Mother, Father, family, I'm going to be leaving now. It was lovely to see you. I'd love to see you again. And then maybe give them a little hug and a kiss. Let them know so they have a chance for that closure.
I spoke to Petal before I left her a note. The rest are at work. I still don't know why I did it.
You better work that out pretty quickly. What did you say to Petal?
Not much. Told her I was leaving. Told her that I'd be back.
Did you mean it?
And he reaches in, pulls out the book that he's been making notes on plants and taking little like dry pressings and a little bag of seeds.
It was a weak reason, but it gave me a little bit of something. I've been finding new plants.
And he places them down.
New ways to pay homage to the dead. New foods to grow, new herbs to spice up the things around here. Every generation or so, someone from the Hollow goes out searching. I thought, why not make it be me? Most of them don't come back anyway, so I wouldn't be missed.
Is that what you think?
That's what I thought.
And what do you think now?
I think I was hidden away for long enough, but I've recently seen some reminders of what a family can be. How much this stuff hurts people. I never realized my failings. And I know I'll never make up for them. But fuck me if I won't try.
I think by this point, there's a knock on the door. And there's a like just a polite knock. And like,
Fuck off, man!
And you hear Matroya, she goes, can I come in for a second?
Yeah, that's all fine.
Under the door frame.
We're gonna get ready to start getting to bed
Yeah.
for tomorrow.
That's fine.
Do you want me to go around and give everyone like
I'll come out and help you in just a sec. Here.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Shot on the outside of the door.
So you and them walk up past you.
I have a lot to make up for from many people around here. We need to talk to your dad.
Walks outside.
Before you guys out,
You know what? That mushroom isn't the only one I lost the day we put her in the ground. Are you still buried down there with her?
Part of me. imagine part are you as well. She was the best of us.
The best it'll ever be.
We lost her early, but we did something right.
Evidently not enough. Sure. Push past you.
The door swings open.
After you've left the room, he goes back to the crib, galaxy flower in the crib, and leaves.
Alright. Now, I'm going to be 100% what I think. There's going to be instances where some of that conversation got loud enough that you guys would have heard it through those walls.
Fuck yeah.
The fuck
So-
you mean? I was outside the window.
It's the 3 layers.
Oh, the three amigos, 3 kobolds in a trench coat. So let's look at.
It's a small house. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
not
it's
built for
not
privacy.
built for no.
So Matroya is very quietly going through, getting like some blankets and some pillows for everybody, like eyes down at the floor, kind of looking. What's happening for everybody else on the lawn? Because I know we let that roll. I didn't want to interrupt, but what's the expression that everyone wears in this momento?
Just looking down the hall, looking at Hugle, eyebrows raised.
So Hugo will make his way over to Zeph.
Where are you staying?
I'll sleep out by the fire with Dog.
You can have Pat with you too. And it's molting a bit, so do you want some owlbear feathers?
Why not?
They're long. Like, these are long.
Into the bag of holding.
Mm.
I feel like you like move aside, and when Hugle flops onto Pat, he almost just gets fully encompassed by the feathers.
So Hugo will sit there, but what he'll also start doing is pull out a small knife and start carving one of the other feathers into like a new quill for his mat making.
Cool, very cool.
I imagine there's this awkward, jealous moment for Dog. Like, how dare you pick to lay on Pat?
He's so much softer.
Offended.
Come here, come here. Get over here, and pulls out one of the fish.
Instant win.
Fucking dinner
Oh, you're
place.
gonna have to smell that all night, mate.
little dog toot.
Puts a bit of mint under the ears.
There we go.
Oh.
But what about
Okay.
the danger duo?
Zero has really drawn out that gut. Like, she was intently listening to the whole thing as much as she could catch.
Mm.
Like, the whole Elfie was like,
Like a bat.
like she was leaning into it the whole time. Like, she's done it so many times with her guns. Like, she was hardly even looking, and like she was like kind of like trying to get as much as she could. She's pulled them apart basically, like right down to their core elements to put them back together again. Her guns have never looked so pristine.
Hell yeah.
But she's still doing it though, but she's coming up to the end of it, but she's really drawn out the whole gun maintenance process.
Really taking her time with
Yeah,
it.
really taking her time with it. She'll probably still be up for another hour or so finishing up because she's pulled it all apart and now she has to put it back together.
You got to the end, you're like, fuck. Okay. How about Voyage?
After tending to the horses, he took a bath, of course.
Mm. Because that rain's come back in for another round. So
Of
for sure.
course. Of course. And just taking a moment away from this situation, more so for himself, to just enjoy the sensation that comes with this place and how homely and peaceful it is.
Mm.
So, almost protecting his degree of peace of mind, essentially, for the moment. Just like the rest of the time that is going to be spent here is going to be fucked. So I'm going to take this moment of peace now before I become the best wingman possible. And that's essentially it.
Alrighty. Eventually, Petunia hovers around the burrow and offers you all fresh pillows, fresh blankets. Yours are neatly left at the edge of the couch because obviously you've got whatever the fuck that is in front of you.
She's enamored by the gun stuff on the table. Never seen anything like just. Wow.
You have never seen firearm before.
No, we don't have anything like that out here. What? How does it work?
And then she kind of like
Don't shoot that in here.
So she's holding the barrel, and she places it. It is not loaded. Don't worry.
Oh my god.
Immediately on you.
Hugle, let the women play with their guns. It is called a pepper box.
A pepper box.
You're just trying to get new prints on there, aren't you?
Remember when you
She
first
gets
saw
arrested
a
for that
guy
guy back
in
in.
Which one?
Who else's fingerprints do you think are on
Sort of
there?
looks and gets a little nod first, and then like tries to click a barrel out, and just like see how it works.
Give it a spin. It's very smooth. I've given it a clean now. And then you can flip it back in. Excellent! You're a natural.
The mechanics on this are amazing. It's very clean. Oh my goodness. Oh, how many parts are in this? Like,
A lot.
this is very impressive.
Thank you. You can have a go at firing it tomorrow if you like.
I'm not sure if I'm so much of a weapons kind of person, but I thank you for the offer.
No worries. She'll lean back and sort of begin putting the other one together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be so honest with you. We heard almost everything.
Yeah, I had kind of a feeling that you would.
You know, sometimes fathers experience loss and they see no purpose in life. But when a mother experiences loss, she finally sees that all life has purpose. You are a good woman, and you stand your ground. You would have had a very strong daughter.
Thank you.
But, and I am not saying you ever go against what your heart tells you. Allow yourself the peace you deserve. My husband can never come back. But yours eventually did.
I think she must walk over and, if you were willing, take your hands. For whatever loss it is that you've experienced, I'm very sorry.
Mine was a shit in. There's nothing compared to yours.
Oh, there's no comparison when it comes to loss.
That is a kind thought and gesture, but you look a different kind of problem.
Well, it does hit everyone differently. That's just my problem to deal with.
You don't have to do it alone.
Thank you.
He's here for you as much as he is here for his closure. He spoke about you a little bit to me.
What did he tell you?
Just a bit about your loss. And even though it was sad in nature, through that pain and grief, I think there was a bit of spark in his eyes. I'm not saying it will fix everything if he helps.
Oh. Look, I'm not one to turn away help, especially in a time like this.
I would imagine not. You seem to be a very smart woman.
And you yourself seem to have quite a found wisdom, if I may.
Oy. That is very generous of you to say. Anyways, I'm holding you up.
No, not at all. I hope the couch is comfortable enough for your night. If not, just let me know. I try and sort something out.
That's alright, I don't really sleep. Not in the usual sense. But,
That must be nice.
yes, well, you know, if anybody does the hanky-panky at night, I'm the first to know, so it's not that nice. But,
Fucking
There's gonna be something horny in every episode.
but, if you're wanting to let off steam early tomorrow, I will be awake very early. Very early. And, go shoot some trees. I think you'll find it's very good.
I'm not really one to sleep in, so I'll never say no.
Go get some work to Zefaris.
I'll do my best.
Alrighty. Everyone will move to take their allocated spot. So I believe I remember correctly. Hugle's sleeping in front of the fire with Dog and Pat.
I was in the room with that whole conversation, but I was out cold.
Yes, God.
I think as soon as he sort of calmed down at that after the big day, Hugle just
Drop dead. Yeah.
dropped.
He was always like that. Straight to sleep.
Has he always snored this bad?
Yes.
Fuck me. I should have been the other way around. You should have left him.
Jesus. Anyway, and Zeph and Voyage were sharing the other room, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what's the situation like in there? Because I think there's like
So tell me.
legs up. Like, what do you think happened?
Of note, very specifically.
Both their hair is up in like a bun and shit.
Comparing notes about what parts of the conversation each other.
It's
Yeah.
the matching pajamas.
Yes.
Face mask.
Yes.
Doing pedicures.
However, he has set up his swag on the floor because he doesn't want Goss coming for him. Very specifically. Okay, game plan. We gotta make sure Hugle's on his best behaviour. He's not allowed to murder a dad. That's just gonna be game over. That's it, GG. I don't know what he's done, but we can cuss him out. I'm sure that's okay. Yep.
Uh-huh. Tell me more.
We just gotta keep setting them up in opportunities where they can just keep having those difficult conversations until they're all done, and then they can live happily ever after and skip off into the sunset together again.
Yeah, okay. But
Terms and conditions.
Do this with like, what have I got for Queensland?
if he says the word,
What word?
that killed my father-in-law.
We're not gonna do it. However, if he accidentally catches this death plague that's going around, I suppose that's okay. As long as we're not doing it.
Trying to say what the fuck are you planning?
No, it's
At the end of the day, it just can't be Hugle's fault. So by proxy, it can't be us. Do you even know why we're mad at him? Neither do I. So let's not jump to conclusions.
Monica's face speaking to me on a level.
I love Zef's loyalty. It's like, I'll kill him.
Your head hasn't moved in 5 minutes, but your eyes are like.
No. You think she's loyal to Hugle? She's loyal to the kill. Guarantees her a kill. She is loyal to the cause.
Zef's married to the job. But anyway, continue. I couldn't keep it together.
This whole conversation we're having is fantastic.
Imagine you're under blankets with a little torch. Like.
Oh,
A little
yes.
candle. Legs out.
Treasure planet.
James Plady Hawkins.
For the sake of Hugle and his family, we will help him find closure. But you have to ask him why he's angry at father-in-law. You have a closer relationship than I do with Hugle.
Yes. Fair.
He would receive it better.
Of course. Yeah. I'm not anywhere near experienced at life enough for this.
And you think I am?
Yeah.
Brother!
Then we are lost.
We are floating endlessly in the void. I think that's because you guys gossip a little bit more on that as the night continues for sure. And like Zero, obviously you stay up much later because you only require half the amount of time to sleep. So eventually I think all the candles go down, like Petunia and stuff will go around and put all the candles down. There's just a soft sizzling. You got dark vision, you're fine.
I'm true. I have dog vision.
What? So with the moonlight cutting through the clouds and stuff, you can still work in absolute
Fireplace is
darkness.
still going.
Yeah, the fireplace will still be going as well. So yeah, definitely I don't think there's an issue. But I think what I want to end on before we wrap up is Petunia, you'll be what's a quick insight into Petunia's brain as she lays in bed as this day of journey comes to a close.
It's just reliving the loss and then reliving like just snippets of the 2 months of being alone with company but still being alone, and then just being in that bed, just muscle memory stretching out and feeling the empty space where there should be a person. And then it's just the rapid fire events of today. It's like there's undeath, he's back. There's undeath. He's gonna try and kill my dad. He might deserve it, but
Yeah, he might succeed.
and there's new people in the house, and she's got to be mindful now that there's company, and it's just a lot of things on loop. But the same images just keep coming back, and a lot of the ones I'd be like was when they buried the baby, and then today with him face down in the mud, just like she closes her eyes and sees like a same kind of nightmare sequence that she'd seen many times probably, where it's just like the baby in their arms just trembling, and then just going still, and that being the worst still she's ever felt. And then going back to just him sobbing over the grave, her in an empty bed, and it's...
Is that a real rain?
That's
Yeah.
real rain.
Hell yeah! Thanks, dude!
And it's just a lot of that, and then it's flashing back to like interactions with Zero, which had just held so much warmth compared to a lot of what it had been.
Mm.
And it's just trying to find places or comes to terms with stuff, and just sort of looks over at a crown, looks down at the rubbish bin with some papers in it, looks back up at the crown, and just... Matron, please let this work out. I can't take this again. This was enough the first time. And then just try and let sleep happen, although it'll probably come slowly.
Yeah, I think you're still like teetering on the edge fully of being awake, like you just can't find any sleep, and there's ever so softly a little rap at your door.
Yeah, and just gets up and wanders over to the door and opens it up.
It was up, and like there's like Matroya in just like one of her like sleeping shirts. Can I come in?
Yeah, sure. Is everything alright?
Yeah. Just sort of comes in, shuts the door behind, sits down, sits on the bed. There's a real like very obvious lean in the difference. You okay?
I will be. How about you, alright?
Oh yeah. We're okay. It's just a lot of how did you say it? Lot of big feelings. Lot of big feelings.
Yeah, I do apologize for that.
You're a good person. And you're a great mom in any capacity.
She takes her hands.
Huge fucking hands.
Yeah. That means quite a lot to hear. Thank you. Having you and your brother here has been a blessing. And I thank you for your company.
He won't admit it, but he really likes it here. Much better than being in that marquise.
Yeah.
In the wet.
I'm glad I could offer some hospitality.
And I think in a peculiar mode, because you've had Matroya and Mateo live with you for like the last like 2.5 weeks, and like her specifically, you and her have gotten very close because she comes and helps at Siobhan's apothecary. I think as you kind of like crawl into bed to like get comfy, in a weird way, she like tries to make herself really small and curls up and like puts her head on your lap, and then continues to like fall asleep.
She runs her hands through her hair, just does the mom thing, like tucks behind her ear, and just sits there like that until she falls proper asleep. And it's just...
And both of you do.
It's that really melancholy idea of, this is really nice. This is really nice. I wish I got to practice this more.
Fuck. Eventually, you find rest. Everyone does after a long, I think it's like overall, I think you guys have been on the road for about 10 days by this point. A long 10 days of travel. And I think that's where we'll wrap up this one.
Oh,
My heart hurts.
well done, guys. That was fucking heart-wrenching from start to finish, man.
That was...
Fuck me.
That hurt my feelings
Good,
personally.
that was my plan.
I haven't had a drink
Drinking.
in 3 years, but I think I need one after that. Done.
I'm gonna
Welcome
hold.
to the table.
Welcome back.
Yes.
Yay.
Thank you for having me.
Many more in the future. We've got a story that's unfolding at this point in time, and it's been wonderful.
This will be the last episode at this table.
Oh,
I
really?
know, for a while, yeah.
So we're going to be, now we're shooting in a different spot. We're probably going to move around a bit in the future, but yeah, different backdrop coming.
Yeah, everything's changing and going different. We'll be out of here and go somewhere else for a little bit, and then hopefully back to a more permanent solution in the following months. But in the meantime, thanks for sticking around. Thanks for watching us break hearts and have sad feelings, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.